All right. Is it anyone's first time to float? Okay. Good thing you're young. No. Awesome. Well, I take what I had said about at any point if you feel need to come into child's pose. All right. But very important, guys, listening with our ears and not with our eyes. That's really important. Okay. So we're going to start off into child's pose. All right. That's going to be kind of the home base. And as we take our knees nice and wide, we let our belly hang, and let our foreheads melt into the mat. Begin to come into our breath, allowing our breath to begin to guide us through our practice here. Deep inhales and equal exhales. As you bring more focus to your breath, it actually allows the mind to stay a little bit more quiet. Softening the jaw, the tongue. As we begin to build the heat within ourselves, each inhale and exhale is allowing us to build the heat. Slowly find ourselves lifting up into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide, pressing your whole hand down. Whole hand, knuckles and all. Good. Spread those fingers nice and wide. Open them right up. Allows the pressure to come out of the wrists. Now, as you're in your downward dog, take your shoulders nice and wide. Let your shoulders come nice and wide, softening through them. Good. Tilting your pelvis so that you can point your tailbone right up to the sky. Drop that down. Awesome. Staying with the breath. Really important, as you bring those shoulders nice and wide, you notice you allow those shoulders to integrate onto your back. So they come onto your back more instead of in your neck. That's something I'm going to bring presence to your practice because it's a really common mistake for a lot of us to tend to lose the shoulders and bring them into the neck and hold all our tension in the neck. Walking the heels out, keeping them stationary as you walk your heels out. Keep your belly tucked in. As your belly is tucked in, find that Uddiyana Bandha, that lock in your belly. Very important with your elbows, make sure you're softening through those joints. So their arms are strong, but we're not hyperextending. Hyperextension is not nice for the joints. You may think it's like, oh, I'm really flexible, but it's not. It's actually that pushing the wrong direction. From here, slowly walk your feet up to your hands, coming up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, toe heel your feet nice and wide, and exhale, fold down for rag doll. Grabbing opposite elbow with opposite hand. And let your head just hang. Keeping that belly tucked in. Your chin should almost be near your chest, allowing your spine to fully open up. Maintaining the breath. Release your hands down. Halfway lift. Lift the belly and the shoulders when you halfway lift. Really important, guys. A great way is to make sure you put your hands onto your shins so the shoulders don't sag. They can lift with the rest of the body. Good. Folding down. Ground your feet into the earth. Bend your legs and let's lift all all the way up to mountain. Sweep it up to mountain. Good. Stay standing here in your mountain pose. Your feet are staying grounded. All right, get them nice and grounded. Now your pelvis here, we want to bring that neutral pelvis. We always tend, this is natural, the sticking the butt out thing, right? Bring what we call the granny bum. Curl it underneath, just lightly to bring a neutral pelvis. So imagine you're out of a bowl, all right? And your bowl is always like this, pouring out a little bit of water. Bring it so that you can hold your water in. Good, keep the shoulders down. Yeah, good. And then allow them to integrate onto the back. And squeeze, almost like you're squeezing your spine. Good. Gazing forward, squeeze into your legs. As you squeeze into your legs, all right, your ankles are going to round, so you're bringing almost a rotation inwards with the ankles. That's coming in, and then from here, you find an activation come up through the legs, squeezing. You've got that neutral pelvis. Shoulders are integrated onto your back. Ribs are knitted in, so don't let them sprawl out. It's easy to do that. Keep it knitted in here. Good. Still breathing. Close your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart center. Good. Take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. Keep that strong stance through the legs, all the way grounding into the earth. Maintain your breath. And together, we're going to take one Om. One big inhale. Om. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Keep those arm bones back, squeezing through the spine, integrating those shoulders, fold forward, all the way down. Good. Halfway lift. Exhale, bring our feet back, coming into a high plank position. Take your knees here. This is your first few times you've done this. All right, or if you're sagging your hips when you come down, your knees are waiting right there for you. Go, we bring it to low plank. Inhale, upward dog. Relax through the butt cheeks. Good, uncurl those toes. And then exhale, bring it to downward dog. Soften through the thoracic spine, so that upper back, where the heart is, that's that thoracic spine. Stay with your breath. Take a big inhale, bend your knees, exhale, hop or walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift, folding down. Reach it up to mountain, nice and tall, strong through those legs, feet are grounded. Fold forward, all the way down, nice and slowly, enjoying equal inhales and exhales, remember. Halfway lift. Exhale, hop or walk your feet back to low plank. Find your way to low plank. Upward dog to downward dog. Building that heat within yourself. Letting the sweat start. Big inhale, bend your knees. Bring it up to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold and fold. Sweep it to mountain, nice and tall, strong through the legs as you lift all the way up and fold forward. Halfway lift. Chaturanga Dandasana. Step it back to your plank. To downward dog. Soften through that thoracic spine. So the shoulders come nice and wide. And soften this direction. Good. Bring your feet together. Take your right leg nice and high. Reach your right leg super high for a downward dog, splits almost. And now take your right hip and stack it on top of your left hip, bending your right knee. Good. Bring your heel towards your bum cheek as your right knee points almost to the ceiling. Now watch your shoulders. Your left shoulder is going to want to collapse here. Your left leg is nice and straight and strong without hyperextension. Good. Keep softness through the joints, but solid through the leg. Awesome. With the belly staying pulled in, take now that right foot through and step it to the right hand. Inhale it up to warrior one. Plant your back foot down on a 45-degree angle. Good. Bring that thigh solid, squeezing the muscle to the bone. So find it to be fully activated. Lengthen that stance. So use the whole mat. Your back foot's on a 45. So if it's pointed sideways, like so, all you're doing right now is twisting out your knees to square forward. You want to bring a slight angle in. Shoulders are integrated onto the back. We've got 3 more breaths. Enjoying it here. Soften through the ribs and take that pelvis neutral a little bit. Take that little neutral pelvis, but don't lose that right knee stacked over the right ankle. Bring it right over the ankle. Stay there, but bring the knee forward. Good, awesome. Good. Last inhale, strong right to the fingertips, and exhale. Plant your hands to the top. Step your right foot back. High plank to low, chaturanga dandasana. Take your knees, guys. If it gets difficult, all right, and when you're at that halfway point, come onto your knees, guys. Long on our knees. I'm going to show you. And this is what I kind of have to be careful with. I'm not supposed to be stretching out my tummy so well, but bear in mind that, okay? So when we're coming down, if this is starting to get hard and you're like, okay, I can't do it, you know, you're shaking, bring the knees, okay? That's when the knees come awesome. That's going to build that strength that will allow you eventually to do that, okay? All right, so you really want to take the knees to allow you to really fully get a nice plank movement, all right? So you're sag to the hips. As soon as you start sagging to the hips, it's really getting dangerous to the back. And coming down like this isn't any good, all righty? All right, let's come back to downward dog. So always coming back to that reset button for the bottom. Downward dog is that reset button. Softening through the thoracic spine, shoulders nice and wide, spreading those fingers and planting the whole hand down. Let's take the left leg up. Keep the belly tucked in. Begin to stack the hips. Stack it up. Watch your right shoulder. Your right shoulder is going to want to collapse. Maybe look under that right armpit to make sure it doesn't. Bring that heel all the way to the bum. Let's hear the breath, ladies. Who's got a better Darth Vader breath? Let him hear it. Good. See if you're holding it right in there. Keep it nice and hard. Now bring that left foot through to the left hand. Warrior one. We're going to take 5 breaths here. Get that strong stance. Back heel solid. Solid through the leg. Hug the muscle to the bone, even in the front. Most importantly, make sure that knee is stacked over the ankle. We're not really using the leg if it's held like this. Bring it forward. Hips are nicely squared. Neutral pelvis. Bring that pelvis neutral. You'll feel it more on the right hip here. Keep those shoulders integrated onto the back, ribs knitted in. Good, nice and long to the spine. Stay breathing. Energize right to the fingertips. This is not being energized with the fingertips. This is strong. You almost find your pinky fingers are like drawing together. That's how you're so activated. Bring your shoulder, yeah, good. Almost your arm bones back and down. So if your arm bones are coming forward, you're really rounded to the back. You need to let them open up. Bring those arm bones back. Good, last inhale. Exhale, plant your hands to the top. Step your left foot back, high plank to low. Good, watch your knees, take your knees. Inhale, up dog. To downward dog. Let's come back to high plank. One more. Good. Awesome. Bring it back to downward dog. Another thing to be present to, guys, not too many of you guys are in that, is to make sure your elbows aren't going out like bows on the sides. Bring them towards, like they're pointing to your heels. Stay breathing. It's here. Slowly walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Lift those shoulders, lift those shoulders. You can sit coffee on your back right now, or coffee cup, I should say. Fold down. Sweep it up to mountain, nice and tall. Squeeze those shoulders onto the back and sit into your seated chair, Utkatasana. Belly's up, arm bones back. Squeeze those shoulder blades onto the back like you're squeezing the spine. Keep those ribs knitted in, soften through the jaw, and then fold forward. Exhale, fold all the way down. Halfway lift. Exhale, take your feet back to a high plank position. Chaturanga, Dandasana. Right leg, reach it high, and step it through to the right hand. Inhale up for one inhale, warrior one. You've been here before. Good. Reach it up, all the way up. Warrior one, nice and strong, and then exhale into warrior two. Good. Open through that front thigh. Good. Your back foot's parallel to the back of the mat, and that allows you to open up. Finding space in the pelvis. Keeping those shoulders integrated onto the back and nodded to the neck. Good. Beautiful. Watch your inner rotation of your knee. Last inhale. And exhale. Windmill all the way down to the top of the mat. Step your right foot back. Chaturanga right through. Downward dog. Beautiful. Left leg. Reach it nice and high. Step it through to the left hand. Inhale up. Warrior one. Find your warrior one. Solid through that foundation here. Take an exhale and open into your warrior two. Find your tug of war between your fingertips. So don't hold them weak. You hold them weak, what you're going to start doing is holding it more to the shoulder. You're going to pick it up like this. Keep the shoulders integrated onto the back. Find that strength, almost pulling them down and squeezing the spine. Find the tug of war between the fingers as you open up to that front thigh. Squeeze, hug the muscle to the bone. Stay breathing. Pushing strong into that back foot. Last inhale. And exhale, windmill all the way down. Step the left foot back, chaturanga right through. To downward dog. Beautiful. Slowly walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Folding down to sweep it up to mountain. Strong through those legs. And Utkatasana. Good. Get your knees back. Shins back. Good. Arm bones back. Chest is open. All the way in your heels. Bring the hands to heart center. Go a little deeper if you can. And then fold forward. Halfway lift. Toe heel your feet. Nice and wide. Nice and wide, almost to the outer edges of the mat, and fold forward. Take your peace fingers around your big toes. Bend your knees here, so don't hyperextend or lock your knees, guys. But keep it, as you keep a softness to the joints, squeeze them into those legs. Good. From here, almost take your seated bones and spreading your seated bones, so you're almost pulling each butt cheek in the opposite direction to the sides, and you find a good activation through the sides of the legs. Feel that and play with that. Only you can feel it. Relax the neck. Use the strength of your arms to pull yourself nice and deep. Allowing your elbows to go out to the sides. Last inhale. And release. Fold forward. Toe heel your feet together. Good. Hands staying at the top of the mat. Begin to slowly walk your feet back to downward dog. Pressing the whole hand down. Taking those shoulders nice and wide. Softening through that thoracic spine. Push your seated bones up to the side. Yes, beautiful. Coming back to that reset button here. We're going to flow here, just a nice flow from our warrior one, warrior two, to a reverse warrior, to a side angle prep. All right, and I'll flow with you for the first one so you can see it visually. All right, in our downward dog, take our right leg and reach it nice and high. Downward dog, split and step it through to your right hand. Warrior one, lift up, strong through that foundation, shoulders integrated onto the back. Exhale into your warrior two. Good, find space in your pelvis and inhale, come into reverse warrior. In reverse warrior, staying strong here. We're going to hold it for another breath. And then exhale, we're going to bring it to a prep here, for side angle prep. Your left arm is going to come up and over, but watch your left shoulder. All right, your left shoulder is going to want to come up into the neck. Keep it squeezing onto the back. Palm shining up. Elbows light on that thigh. Squeeze that front thigh. Make sure that knee's turning open, toes pointed forward. Good. Awesome. Look up to the hand. Shoulders squeezing onto the back. Good. Release. Plant your hands to the top of the mat. From here, step your right foot back. Come into high plank, chaturanga dandasana. Remember, get those elbows pointing more towards the heels than to the sides of the room. Awesome, we're going to flow for the other side. Left leg, reach it high. Step it through, warrior one. Big inhale. Square hips forward. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And let's bring it for side angle prep. Beautiful. Keep those shoulders down. Find lightness in that left elbow. Push strong into that right leg. Squeeze into that left thigh. Find lengthening through the neck. Belly still tucked in. And release. Bring your hands to the top of the mat. Step your left foot back. Chaturanga right hand. Down we go. Now, we're going to come for full side angle. So we might want to block for this. I think we all have a block. All right, so bring that in easy access. From our downward dog, Join us back into it. Take our right leg nice and high. Step it through to your right hand, warrior one. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. And then releasing for your side angle. Take your hand onto your block on the inside of your right foot. Yes, exactly. That's what it's there for. It depends what you feel comfortable with. You might want it higher, you might want it lower. It depends where you need to be. We've already done a prep for this, so keeping those shoulders down. Good. Your shoulders staying integrated onto the back, squeezing the muscles to the bones through the legs. Back foot's nicely grounded. Keep that belly tucked up. Find the strength in this pose, guys. Make it your peak pose. Reach that hand right to the sky, taking it up overhead. Good. Finding space here through the neck. Last inhale. Exhale, release your left hand to the ground. Take your left knee to the ground and keep your hands on the inside of your right knee. We're going to go for lizard pose. So your block can still be used here, all right? Keep the belly tucked up. And if this isn't up, that's cool. You want to make sure if you're really flexy in your hips and you're like, oh, I can sink right into this, hug your hip joints first. Squeeze into it. Find full activation, that hugging the muscle, hug it. So you feel it right in your butt cheek. And then from there, maybe it's to come down with your forearms, maybe it's to come onto the block. Breathe 3 more breaths here. Now, very important, make sure your knee is stacked above your ankle. Your knee is not in front of your ankle. Find that. Good. Belly's tucked up. Breathe through it. Deep breathing here, guys. Last one. Inhale. Come up onto your hands if you're not already there. Lift up your back knee. Plant the hands down strong here. All right, without hyperextending the elbows. See how I hyperextended? Take it soft. When I'm squeezing into my arms solid, we step our right foot back. We're going to come into a plank position and bring our heels over to the right for side plank. Activate your toes. Curl those baby toes right up to your shins to zip up through the legs. Lift up your hips. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back. Let your chest open. Squeeze the muscles to the bones. Find strength with your whole hand. Press it down and root you into the earth. Good. You take on the forearm if you want to. It's up to you. It's up to you. Good. And then from here, high plank to downward dog. Take a big inhale. Let a nice open mouth exhale out. Come on, guys. I think I heard it all myself. Try that again. Let a big open mouth exhale out. It releases so much tension within the body. Good. For the record, that was so real quiet. Good, let's go for the left side. We're going to flow through it. Stepping it through to the left hand. Inhale up into your warrior one. Exhale into your warrior two. Keep those shoulders down. Strong through the legs. Inhale into reverse warrior. Good. Exhale, come right through for your full side angle. Good. Use your block. It's there for you. Just because you're taking your block doesn't mean that you're taking an easier practice. You're just finding out where your body needs to be better. Good. Making sure that front knee is not rotated inwards. Keep the back foot rooted into the earth. Squeeze the thigh muscles. Good. Find that activation. Last inhale. And then we'll release our right hand to the ground, our right knee to the ground, coming for lizard pose here. Our hands are on the inside of your left foot. Good. Hug into your butt, guys. Before you sag the hips, hug into the butt. In fact, you should never really sag the hips. All right, find it's almost like a straight plank position, and you slowly bring it all down together. You might not come all the way down on this side. It's different side to side, right? You might need the block for this side. What I really want, though, is you to be even. So bring it even. Making sure that knee stacked over the ankle. So squeezing through the hip joints, the belly's tucked in. Trying to even still, if you can here, keep those shoulders integrated onto the back. Don't ever lose that. That's something that will really help you with posture later on. Especially if you're one that sits at a computer all day long. This is something you really bring focus to in your practice. Because it's so easy to just do that hunch over. I was thinking, yoga brings us back to that primal state when we used our hands and feet. Building that upper body strength that we've lost over the years of just walking on our feet. Keep the belly tucked in. Slowly come up onto our hands. Good. Lift up your back knee. Step it into a high plank position. Good. Heels are going to come over to your left-hand side this time. Curl those baby toes up to the shins as you stack the feet. If you take your knee down, your left knee down, that's okay. Keep that right leg straight and still curl your toes up. Curl your toes up, even that straight leg, finding that activation right in. Squeezing through the shoulder blades as the chest lifts. Ribs are still knitted in, belly's tucked in. Stay breathing, gazing up to that hand, strong. Beautiful. Bring it to high plank to downward dog. Take your knees here, guys. Or if you want to be hero, chaturanga, go for it. Awesome. And then we'll come into child's pose. Meet there. Good. So we're nice and warm, we're juicy, we're sweaty, we're loving it. Keep those breaths, your breath, the most important part, leading you through your practice still. Take this time to allow you to bring focus back to it. Start getting a little faster, which you can. When you start flowing, you tend to sometimes lose it. It takes a while. Slow it down. Each inhale and exhale, bringing that heart rate back to a nice pace. Keeping all those stories out of your head and staying present right here to your intention you set at the beginning of your practice. Keep breathing though, don't stop the breath. Here, we're going to come up into a high plank position. Find yourself in a high plank position. Take your knees if you need to, because we're going to come down on the count of 5 to our belly. Try to be honest with yourself and do the full 5. So for 5, 4, 3, elbows tuck in, 2, 1, bring it right down. Good. Take your right ear down, take your arms down by your sides. With your feet no wider than hip width distance, bring your chin forward. Keep your arms down by your side, but turn your palms facing down. going to lift here for airplane. So we pull the belly in. We integrate the shoulders onto the back, and as we do that, the chest begins to lift up. The arms lift with your shoulders, with your chest, with your gaze. Legs begin to lift. Don't let them go wider than your hips. Keep them still, slightly close together. Breathing here. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Last inhale. Exhale. Release it down to your opposite ear, left ear. So let's go for a second set. Bring the chin forward. Belly tucks in, palms turn facing down, point those toes and begin to lift up. Integrate the shoulders onto the back. Good. Finding opening through the chest, the throat, but not straining the neck. Make sure you're not straining your neck too much. Last inhale, lift it nice and high, and exhale, release it all the way down, opposite ear. Go from bow pose. Bring your heels towards your bum, grabbing onto the tops of your feet. Your chin comes forward. Now, really important here, guys. This is an easy one. When you begin to kick up, your knees go sprawling out wide. Look forward to the mirror, and you should be able to see your knees. Your knees should not go wider than your hips. All right, so they should be tucked hidden behind your hips. Begin to kick it up. Find yourself kicking up, letting those shoulders get stretched. Your belly's pulled in. Finding your toes, maybe one day lifting up overhead. Still breathing. Maybe even coming forward onto the belly a little bit more and off of the hips. Last inhale. And release it all the way down. Let's go for our second set. Bring your heels up, grabbing onto the top of your feet. Good use of the props. And kick into it. Find your way into it. It might just come a quarter of an inch off the ground. That's okay. Keep it safe. Keep it strong. Let yourself express yourself as you lift up into it. Maybe come forward a little bit more, kicking it onto the belly and off the hips. Toes point up. Last inhale. And release all the way down. From here, slowly lift yourself into child's pose, stretching out your back. Stretch it right out. Good. Then we'll come up onto our knees for camel pose. So coming up right onto our knees. We're going to bring our hands into the back pockets of our invisible jeans. Okay? From here, we're going to start pressing our hips forward. But as we press our hips forward, we're going to lift up nice and long through the spine and open through the chest. But keep pressing those hips forward the entire time. Now you have a choice too. If you want to anchor your toes and reach back for your heels, that's there for you. Squeeze those shoulders onto the back. Keep pressing the hips forward. Good. Open it right up. Belly's tucked in. Don't lose that. Always keeping that there. Good. Holding strength still in the neck, not collapsing it. Good. Stay breathing. Press those hips towards the mirror. Press them towards the mirror. Opening it through that lower back that keeps it safe and letting your head be relaxed to come back. Find yourself seated onto your heels, letting your hands just rest onto your thighs. Good. We're going to come onto our back, find your way onto our back. We're going to set it up for bridge pose. Feet hip width distance on our back. Make sure our feet are pointed at 12 o'clock, especially when we lift up. What tends to happen is our feet start doing the goose kind of stance or whatever, duck stance. Keep the toes pointed at 12 o'clock. And that's something important to always remember. Even when you're walking, guys, if you notice some people who walk with their feet kind of out to the sides, you probably experience a little bit of lower back pain. You're collapsing in that lower back. So really always trying to find your 12 o'clock with each foot, and the feet are almost parallel to each other. Okay? It's a little footnote. Bring the shoulders, roll them underneath, and from here we're going to press the back of the head into the earth. If you're, just come down, we're not going in a wheel. Hold up, horses there. All right, so if your ponytail's in the way, press the back of your head into the earth. Open your throat, so your chin is almost pointing to the ceiling. Press the back of the head down. You find strength in the neck. This is great if you suffer from migraines. Bring your strength into the neck. From here, those shoulders are rolled underneath. We lift the hips here. Lifting the hips only. As the hips lift, roll those shoulders underneath, protecting the spine, almost squeezing the spine so none of the spine is pressing into the ground. Our knees stay hip width distance, almost like you're holding a block in between your knees. Keep the head pressing down, and you can interlace your hands underneath your hips if you'd like to. You might notice when you interlace your hands, your shoulders may want to roll even more underneath. That's okay. Keep the throat open. Keep the head pressing back. Keep lifting up the hips. Breathing here. Last inhale. And exhale. Release it all the way. Flat onto your back. Take your feet together. And your knees nice and long. Supta Baddha Konasana. Let your hands just rest onto your inner thighs. Awesome. Now, you have a choice here. You can go for a second set of bridge, or you can try wheel out. It's up to you. If you've never done wheel before, I'd rather you just do a second set of bridge. All right? Take wherever you're going to take it and hold it there for 5 long, strong, honest, true breaths. Keep those feet pointed forward at 12 o'clock. Making sure those knees don't sprawl out wide. Don't look to the side. This is really important. You're looking up. You want to keep your spine straight. Really important time. Press the back of the head into the earth. Open up that throat. Good. If you're in your wheel, almost bring your heart like you're trying to get it closer to the back of the room. Good. Still breathing. And then when you have reached your 5 breaths, slowly release it all the way down. Don't apologize to me, apologize to your knees. Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to bring our knees into our armpits for happy baby. Grabbing the tops of our feet and pulling down on the outer edges of our feet as our knees come into our armpits. The bottoms of our feet are shining to the ceiling. So shining to the ceiling, nice and wide. And from here, we're trying to get that tailbone flat to the ground. As we press down on our feet, the feet push up into our hands. Get that tailbone unraveled, that belly's pulled in, enjoying that hip stretch. A nice little hip stretch here, breathing. And then release. Bring your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around. Hug them right in. Pay some love to the legs. And then release your legs nice and flat down to the ground. Before we come into our Shavasana, we're going to do just a little bit of core work. Alright, so as we lay flat on our back, we still are integrating those shoulders onto the back. Don't lose that even though we're on the back. Because that's a big one, we can just let everything kind of get mold down. Alright, so the shoulders slightly roll underneath. From here, we're going to take one leg up. So we'll take the right leg up to start with. Good. Palms are down by our sides. Palms facing down. There's support here as those shoulders slightly roll underneath. We're going to alternate with a scissor kick. As one leg comes down, the other one lifts up. Back and forth. And we have a nice straight leg here, as best as we can, pushing through the squishy part of our foot. So the palm part of our foot. It's like a semi-flex here. Good. Bring it right up. Belly pulls in, finding the strength here in the core as you go back and forth. Good. Keep the belly pulling in. Good. There you go. It's really easy to push the tummy out. You want to keep it pulled in. That's protecting the lower back. A big, important part. Protecting all the organs. Keep the arms down by your sides. And then bring both legs up. Both legs come up. Lift your hips just a tiny bit and tuck your hands underneath your hips for support of the lower back. Good. We're still going to keep nice straight legs here. Alright, and what we're going to do is we're going to bring our legs 30 degrees at a time all the way down until it's just hovering over the earth, that 90-degree angle. Alright, so it's starting at the top, nice straight legs, let's bring it down 30. Belly tucks in, tuck it in, tuck it in. Down another 30. Keep breathing, down the last 30. Hold it there, and then lift it all the way back up. Good, guys. Down 30. Shaking's good. Down another 30. Last 30. Soften the jaw, the tongue, and lift it up. Last one, guys. Bring it down. Down 30. Bring it down again. Last 30. Lift up and look at your toes. Lift up and look at your toes. Hold it there. Hovering, hovering, hovering. And release it down. Let everything go down. Good. Stretch those arms up overhead. Let out that open mouth sigh now. I know you guys, some of you naturally did it. Just let it go. Release any sort of tension you're holding. Good. Awesome. We're going to come into a nice spinal twist here to finish off, getting any last little bit of toxins out of us. Take our right knee up into our right armpit. Keep it on the side of the ribs. Hug it right in. And then from here, take your right knee over to your left-hand side, stacking up your hips. As you stack up your hips, you might need to do a little hip chum, shimmy it back a little bit so that they stack up. Bring your knee right over and then look over your right shoulder. So your right hand stays on the right side. Your left hand helps bring your right knee down. Release it back. Yes, exactly. Nice twist. onto your back. Left knee. Hug it right into the side of the ribs. And then twist it up. Stack your hips. And then release. Having nice and flat onto your back. Roll your shoulders underneath. Keeping your eyes closed. Bring this time for Shavasana, which translates into corpse pose. So create your corpse pose. Keep your mind quiet, your breath at ease, releasing any sort of tension. Most importantly, do not think about anything. It's times for your immune system to rejuvenate itself after your hard work practice. And it's probably one of your most important parts of your practice. close. Roll over onto any side, letting your head just rest onto your arm. And with your eyes closed, bring yourself into a comfortable seated position. Take our hands into our heart center. And taking this moment here to reflect on our intentions we set at the beginning of our practice. Giving gratitude for today, for this practice, and giving gratitude to one another. We'll bow to our hearts and finish with Namaste. Namaste. Have a wonderful Friday, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Nice and juicy.